This is my friend Jason.
Hello.
So Jason and I are what? Comedian.
Yeah, we're like professional comedian colleagues.
Colleagues. We don't work in an office, dude. I don't.
Fine. You're my stand-up best friend.
There we go. I like that better. Stand up best friend. Not your only one. I know you have other stand up best friends, so I'm not going to get all weird on you. But yeah, not colleagues. Boring. And we do a lot of comedy stuff together, including Soy Saucy, which is the show that I've been producing. And Jason was in the first one that was sold out in March. Second one coming up September 7th at the Crow in Santa Monica. Very exciting.
Yeah. Crow's such a big, beautiful space. Can't wait to get in there and see what's going on.
Yeah. So Jason and I actually saw a show at the Crow it was Mother's Day Eve, because Jason has 3 children of his own that he birthed himself.
Yep. They're secrets, though. Don't tell anyone.
And it was such a great show. And Ray Romano was unexpectedly on stage. That was an awesome, LA moment. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, it was so funny. So funny. To be able to just get up on stage, so they just pulled him off the street, and to be able to get up on stage, how long was he up for? Like 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, it felt like less. That blew by. I was captivated every single minute of that. It's crazy.
So good. Such a goal to work towards. So hilarious. Anyway, so Jason, I want to interview you because I always think it's really interesting what draws people to stand-up comedy, what topics they like to cover, why they cover those topics. So tell me a little bit about you and comedy and why.
Sure. Growing up, I've always had an inclination to tell a joke. I love watching comedy, telling puns, the whole gamut. And as an adult, I've kind of had this thought of making a career out of being a writer of comedy and such, and still working on that. But I happened to take a class at Flappers University, home club in Burbank, and I got a little bit of structural joke advice, and I got hooked, and I've been doing it for almost a decade now, which is crazy. But I just love interacting with the audience, the sort of like taking the risk of putting yourself out there, and the reward you get with the laughter. It's just like I'm addicted to it. Addicted.
All basically addicts looking for our next hit, right?
Yeah.
Because why would you do it any other way? I wear Fitbit, and when I was doing the Uncle Clyde's contest and I got through a few rounds and I was in the main room and it was full, it was like 200 something people, my heart rate went up to like 150 beats per minute. It was just going along at like 89, 95 and totally normal. And then for 5 minutes, and then back down. And you gotta love the laughs. Otherwise, why would you put up with cardiac arrest?
Yeah, it's definitely not the massive paychecks most of the time. I mean, you gotta get what you can when you can. Yeah.
The massive paychecks. Whoa. Yeah, let's not get into that part of comedy, because that's just sad. That's just the sad part of comedy.
Yeah, you're right. Pretty sad.
So can we say anything about what you're working on writing? Because I think it's hilarious. I don't know if you want to say anything about it.
Oh, no. Yeah, for sure. So
what's the log line for it?
Yeah, so kind of a log line. So it's like I'm a big comic book reader, comic book fan. I'm wearing a Superman shirt as we speak. And my manager actually gave me the log line. She's like, you should do what if you ran a comic book store and your comedian friends worked in the comic book store? And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds fun. So I've been working on that for past 6 months or so, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It has a very Big Bang Theory vibes, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Chuck,
think.
Chuck Lorre, you should check it out. It's perfect.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Chuck, my phone number is in the chat. I don't know, but
Slide into my DMs, Chuck. By the way, I literally never see Jason without some sort of graphic tee. Always. I don't even know how much closet space do you have for all I don't think I've ever seen a duplicate on you.
well, that's kind of the issue is that I don't have a lot of closet space, so it's a lot of like somewhat organized, like on the floor or closet ish. I must have floating around hundreds of comic book shirts over the years, and every year I go,
Hundreds?
yes,
Oh my gosh.
every year I go to Comic Con, I'm always looking for more because I don't process that the shirts I buy have to go somewhere. Problem.
You have closet blindness?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I have. Yeah, buying new things, but not. Yeah, not thinking it through. Itis, whatever that is. Yeah, I guess American capitalism.
Itis.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just being American. You're just American. I feel you. Like this shirt, which honestly looks kind of like I'm selling peanuts at the circus. I didn't need this shirt, but I didn't have a selling peanuts at the circus shirt, so
Yeah, those peanuts are not going to sell themselves, people.
right. Like what if I have to sell peanuts? I am perfectly clad for that. Okay, so tell me about some of the topics that you like to write jokes about. I wrote down identical twin, nerd, runner. Tell us about them.
Yeah, those are like the big biographical things that I've been dealing with my whole life. I think a lot of young unmarried anxious comics, so I.e. comics. I have a lot of
Dude,
material.
I'm none of those things. Thank you very much.
True, that's true. That's why your material is so original because you don't write about dating apps and failed connections and woe is me, I'm single. That's like 99% of my material, or at least what I think about while I'm writing material. So yeah,
So you're an identical twin.
that's true. We're actually identical. I mean, I meet a lot of fraternal twins, but I'm one of the few identical ones. Yep. Yep.
I'm not going to believe it till I see him, you know.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come out to this soy saucy because it's gonna be
Oh my
just
gosh.
an incredible show.
What? He's
Yeah,
coming out? Okay, that alone is reasons to sell tickets. People come out to
yeah,
see Luna 2.0 or Luna 1.0 because he's the older one, right?
yeah. By a
Really?
minute, and it's a C-section, so technically he just got removed first. Not that I'm bitter about it or think about this ever, but get your facts straight, America.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I haven't heard that joke, Jason.
I
Like
know. It's just
you
it's just sitting.
you
Yep,
you have it out for that doctor, huh?
yep.
Okay, I want to hear that as a joke. That's hilarious. So you have an identical twin. You self-identify as a nerd. Tell me, I think there was another term that you like as well. You nerd and
Oh yeah. I like geek. I think geek sort of gives off a vibe of a certain more of a general awkwardness. I feel like nerds have it more together. Geeks, because the word geek initially came from the guy who bites chickens off their head, bites
what?
the head off. Yeah, that was the geek at the carnival.
Oh my
So
gosh, I've never heard of that.
naturally,
Okay,
naturally, people who like comic books are biting the
are
head.
geeks.
Yeah, yeah.
I identify as a nerd as well. So I can because I wouldn't call myself a geek, but I would definitely call myself a nerd.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, that distinction, I can see that distinction. Okay. And then you're also can you show us the runner legs that you are famous for?
Oh yeah.
By the way, with Jason, just like, can you? Oh, after you do that, yeah. Go ahead, show. Woo!
It's a deal.
500 pounds of steel.
Yep.
By
I
the
think
way, this I don't think I've ever seen you in any other outfit than a graphic tee and shorts.
no, yeah. Occasionally I wear pants, but since the summer started, forget about it. I'll see you in 3 to 6 months. But yeah, this
I
is
don't
it.
think I've ever seen you in pants.
It's pretty
I
rare. It's pretty rare.
I I mean, why would you wear pants with calves like those, right?
That's true. That's my issue. Is not enough women see me from the leg down first. I would really improve the impression. I think.
Maybe you should change your picture on the dating apps to just be your calves.
Yeah, I should learn how to do handstands. That would be very helpful.
Okay, next time I see you, I'll hold your legs up for a handstand and we'll get someone to take a picture. I like it. I like it. So what are some other topics you like to write about in comedy?
That's a good question. I've sort of been one foot in, one foot out about it, but I like sometimes to write about my mental health. I'm doing very well right now. I don't even consider myself really to have a mental illness, but my issues with bipolar disorder and taking lithium and stuff like that, I think could be helpful to some people. I've written a ton of jokes about it, but at the same time, that's just something that I think about and have sympathy for people who are going through similar issues. Could be helpful.
I think it's radically helpful. I mean, Maria Bamford's bio, have you read her autobiography?
No, I mean, of course, I've seen her a few sets and stuff, but no, I haven't read her book yet. No.
So Maria Bamford, if you all haven't heard of her, she's amazing. Her autobiography is Yes, I'll Join Your Cult, or Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. Maybe it's Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. And it was actually on the short list for LA Times Book of the Year. I think it was last year, actually. It's an amazing book because how many people who've been institutionalized 3 times have the communication skills to write about their life? Like, probably not very many. And make you laugh? Yeah, Maria Bamford. Amazing.
Totally.
So, I would love to see your content. I hate to call them jokes because sometimes a joke is not a joke, I guess, if you will. I'd love to hear your content on mental health. That's your experience, and I'm sure you have an interesting outlook on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm sure Maria Bamford at some point had the same thought, which is like sometimes when you have emotions that are like negative or maybe not quite traumatic, but you don't want to dwell on them too much. Sometimes it's hard to pull that back with that sort of like balanced point of view you need for joke writing. But it's
Mm.
definitely a challenge worth considering. But yeah,
Well, maybe it lends itself more to the written word than the spoken word too. Maybe you could
anyway,
write a column about it or something. That would be really interesting.
totally.
I want to hear about it. I mean, I spent a lot of time with you and I don't really know anything about that part of your experience. So, I mean, that's what's so cool about Soy Saucy and comedy in general is like my favorite comedy is when I learn about someone else's experience, how different it is from mine, and yet how universal it is because we all struggle with these human issues, right?
Yeah,
And it was interesting because the first Soy Saucy, everyone's so it's Soy Saucy. If you don't all know, it's the show that I produce, and it's all Latin and Asian comedians, and none of us have the same ethnicity. It
right.
was it was pretty amazing how diverse the backgrounds are of everybody, and yet we can all laugh at each other's individual issues and the issues that we all identify with because we're all humans. And it was so freaking funny. Oh my gosh, I was dying in the back, and I don't know, I guess there was a little time delay on my laugh because then then my laugh would get a laugh. You want Jason and I in your audience. We have big laughs.
Yeah, I am a professional audience member. for me.
Oh my gosh, speaking of that, you and I saw a show recently, and it was kind of the antithesis of what you and I do in our own comedy, which was a comedian just really kind of being mean to the audience.
Yeah,
And that was interesting because he I don't know if that was his strategy from the get-go. I felt like I didn't get to see any of his stuff. Like I didn't know anything about him at the end of the 10 minutes. All I knew was how he felt about this person who had said something that honestly, I think he actually misinterpreted personally. Like I don't think the audience member meant that.
yeah.
Um,
I think it's an issue I've had. Luckily, I haven't had too many hecklers in my career, but when I do, sometimes I get so upset just at the the state of mind I'm in. Where I'm trying to flow through a joke, and then I get this loud noise that cuts me off, and I just
mhm.
get mad at that generally. So I think he got more upset because his flow was disrupted, and he didn't really take the time to process what was happening. Because I mean, it was a very abrupt and rude thing to do to talk back to a comedian during the show like that. I mean, but at the same time, he should have handled it, in a more understanding way, because otherwise, you just get this. The audience feels this uncomfortability. Did he does he hate her just
Yeah,
for a reason? It's just awkward. But yeah, yeah,
it started to feel like bullying, and I mean, I was, like, ready to turn into a turtle and just like, "Oh my gosh, what's happening here?" So, yeah, that's kinda the antithesis of the kind of comedy that I like to see in general, and definitely different than anything you'll see at Soy Saucy, let me tell you. But, yeah, so, hey, everyone, I'm happy to introduce you to my friend Jason Luna. He is very, very funny. Come out and see him at Soy Saucy Numero Dos on Sunday, September 7th at the Crow in Santa Monica. Oh, and let me put up the where you can buy the tickets at soysaucy.com. That is SOYSAUCEY.com. And for those of you who don't get it, it's a play on words, right? Soy saucy,
yeah.
because all Asian and Latin comedians, soy sauce in Spanish, soy means I am, like I am saucy,
Yep.
much like my comedy name is a play on words that only half the audience gets. So I'll explain that in a future podcast. And I guess I'm going to put this up as the Soy Saucy podcast. So this is episode 1. Thank you for being my first episode.
I've always said I'm number one. Thank you for having me. Uh,
And we might do stuff with your script, right? With your treatment. Maybe we'll figure out a way to bring that into the Soy Saucy podcast realm. Speak it into existence. Chuck Lorre, we're out for you.
Absolutely. The script is at the ready.
Okay, bye, Jason. Thank you.